did Marjorie Harvey contribute to Steve's biological kid's estrangement? As you may know, something clearly doesn't vibe in this blended family, and apparently, it's not even Steve Harvey's fault that he is fully absorbed with Lori and completely neglects his other 6 children. The family dynamics has been far from perfect for a long time, and the comedian's biological kids now suspect Marjorie in promoting such a strange favoritism from the beginning. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. I keep my eyes on the most scandalous events in show business and always bring you the hottest updates. When Steve Harvey created his large and allegedly friendly family of 9, his current wife Marjorie, and 7 kids, he thought it would set a great example of parenthood for many Americans. But in reality, he devoted his entire attention to his stepdaughter Lori, and other members of this family feel abandoned. It appears that after being silenced for many years, some of them decided to be vocal about the toxic treatment, lousy parenting, and what was really going on behind the scenes. And as it turned out, many of Steve's biological kids accused Marjorie in forcing their dad into this blend, and the initial idea of Steve adopting her 3 kids and turning them all into one big family. Not everyone was on board with this decision, but they didn't have a say in this. As Steve recalls telling his kids, I said, "Look, you don't like it. Deal with it. I don't need y'all's permission." Well, since Steve credits his wife Marjorie for helping him achieve his dreams and becoming a better version of himself, I guess she is actually the main figure in the family and probably has a huge influence on the comedian. And although Steve's image as a perfect and loving dad is known across the country, the recent news shed more light on the toxic treatment they received from their dad after Marjorie became their so-called mommy. So if you're a bit lost here, let me quickly do a recap of this family's background. So, when Steve only started his career in comedy, he was forced to choose between his family and following his dream. So in 1994, he divorced his first wife, Marcia, with whom he has 3 kids, the twins Carly and Brandi, and a son, Broderick. Somewhere along the way, Steve got tired of being alone, and he married Mary Lee, and they welcomed a son, Winton. And the last, but not the least, addition to this family came with Marjorie because Steve adopted her 3 kids, Morgan, Jason, and Lori. Well, according to Steve, he doesn't make difference between his biological and adoptive kids, and he loves them all equally. But it seems like only a great title for headlines to make us all melt from his generosity and kindness. In fact, it's been obvious for quite a while that Steve's own kids get far worse treatment than his princess girl, Lori, and apparently Marjorie is tricked Steve into choosing Lori over anyone else, probably hinting at the girl's lack of father's love. Well, as Steve repeatedly mentioned, Marjorie was the woman of his dreams, and knowing that, she could easily direct him and demand whatever she wants. So it didn't even felt strange to him when she asked him to guide the youngest of her kids, Lori, and pay special attention to this girl. And just as Steve was eager to play a good father for a change, Lori was craving to finally get a dad in her life as well. And while it seems to many that this is the father-daughter's match of the century, other kids, especially his own blood, didn't get as much attention and love as Lori. And it seems to them that Marjorie played a huge role in alienating Steve and slowly directing his attention to the most vulnerable kid. I've got to tell you, this woman is sly and manipulative. Well, I bet it wasn't too hard to play on Steve's emotions because he already made some bad choices as a father. When it comes to his history with his biological kids, the majority of them literally grew up without a father. His son from the first marriage, Broderick, spent a large portion of his life without dad. And when he was 16, he realized that he needed a man in his family, so he left his mom to life with Steve. As a young man recalls that heartbreaking decision, he said, "I need that connection with him, Steve." Well, that all is in the past now, and Steve can actually split his time and attention between all of his kids, but for some reason, and it said that Marjorie is this reason, he gave the biggest part of his heart to Lori. Sources even claimed that Marjorie gave Steve hard time when she explained him that Lori basically grew up without a father in her life. And that's literally, guys, because there are still rumors about the identity of her real father. And Steve was ready to believe that this little girl needs him so much that he got attached to her emotionally. And now he thinks that she is the closest person to him. Right. As if Steve's other daughters didn't want daddy's love and attention. And yeah, I know that they are 40 now, but come on, don't we all need to feel like our parents' kids for a while? Especially if you didn't get enough attention in the past. And boy, the twins Carly and Brandi literally saw their dad leaving them when they were small. As Steve himself said, years later, they said to me, "Dad, we didn't understand why you left us, but we know now you had to go. You didn't just belong to us. You belong to the world." Well, that's just beyond sad that Steve didn't get to spend quality time with his other family members and finally get to know them. Apparently, Marjorie's grip on Steve's mind was very tight, and she managed to convince the comedian that he can do it right this time if he takes good care of young Lori. And knowing how much Steve missed the role of a dad and probably felt guilty for abandoning his biological kids, he jumped to the opportunity to right some wrongs by adoring Lori more than anyone else in this world. For some people, it looks like a betrayal. So not only did Steve neglected his children's needs when they were small, he is now trying to compensate this time and atone his sins by basically raising Lori. And of course, it was so easy loving Lori because Steve was head over heels with her mommy. As one person wrote, men do this all the time. When a man loves a woman, he loves her children, whether they're his or not. And another person mentioned, unfortunately, unless a man is very rare with great character, he usually treats the kids how he feels about the mother. Does this mean that Steve have troubles connecting with his biological children because they remind him of his previous wives and the life he had led back then? And did he ever try to connect with any of them apart from shoving cash in their pockets? Because all I hear coming from the comedian is Lori this and Lori that. Seems like Steve knows everything about her life. I mean, yeah, the girl actively tries to achieve something in life by dating famous people and doing some modeling, while other Steve kids never plan to be in the spotlight. And even if they wanted, it's almost impossible to share the spotlight with Lori. This girl is well groomed by her mother and knows exactly what she is doing. While other kids are biting their nails and feeling pangs of jealousy, Lori openly enjoys Steve's full attention. And according to The Insider, money is the only way Steve tries to connect with his other kids. The source said, his way of handling it has been to throw money at them, buy them gifts, or just go into another room to chomp on a cigar, but it's not working. Well, it seems like Steve has no intention of playing daddy for his grown-up kids, and as Marjorie was quick to remind him, Lori was the one who needed attention because at the time she was adopted by Steve, the girl was only 10 years old or something like this, and you can imagine that Steve, seeing this innocent and fragile girl who never had a father in her life, eagerly swallowed all lies that Marjorie fed him with. Keeping Marjorie happy was Steve's main goal, and that's why he paid special attention to young Lori. These things didn't go unnoticed by other kids, and they allegedly accused Marjorie and Lori in taking advantage of Steve and playing with his feelings. Some even stated that he gives Lori this princess treatment because of her looks. Yeah, there's no denial that Lori is a gorgeous-looking woman, and she took it from her mom, right? And as you may remember, it took Steve only one glance at Marjorie to fall in love with her in that dark club many decades ago. Plus, good looks are great for the industry, and if you want people to keep talking about you, well, appearance matters. So it wasn't actually hard for Marjorie to play her cards right and help her daughter win the heart of the comedian and even take the place of all other children. Some fans don't even see Steve trying to mend things with other kids, apart from showering them with piles of cash. But his love, he gave it to Lori, and apparently it has something to do with Marjorie's influence on him. As one person commented, I blame the wife. She wants her daughter to get more attention from Steve than his biological kids. And another user wrote, it's all about keeping the mama. When the chips are down, he will need his blood. Just wait. Well, Steve doesn't even hide his obsession with Lori, and no wonder that she gave everything he lacked as a father. She needs guidance, protection, and being taken care of. Lori definitely plays her role of a needy child well. And what do you reckon? Has Marjorie insisted on Steve favoring Lori more than other kids? Or is this just a natural bond between them? And how Steve's biological children are supposed to feel witnessing such a crucial betrayal again? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other video about Marjorie's dark secrets and her past. Apparently, there's more to tell about this lady. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I promise to be back very soon with a new portion of gossip about your favorite celebrities.